What's going on YouTube? I am HotMessNess, MUA, otherwise known as Vanessa, and today's video is going to be a full face of first impressions or new to me products, and we're going to talk through them. Some of them I have tried, but I wanted to tell you guys about them because I didn't want to do individual review. Like one of them is like the Becca Hydra Mist powder. I tried to do a video on this and lo and behold, I pushed the time lapse. So the 10-minute video became a 3-second video. And I'm not trying to do all that. So some of these products I recently came upon because they were sent to me from my good friend here on YouTube, Penn Smith Skincare. She sent me some products that she loves and had backups of, or some shades that didn't work for her. She even sent me a full Marc Jacobs Daisy perfume and lotion duo. And usually I don't go for scents that are that perfumey, like that floral, but it is actually perfect for work because I work in a casino, I smoke in the casino, you leave smelling like an ashtray. So it's actually a smell that's strong enough that I actually smell like perfume when I'm on a table. So yeah, we're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna go over some things, I'm gonna try not to drop, that she sent me. She sent me the Era Face Airbrush Foundation. We're gonna do some By Terry Cover Expert Foundation. New to me is some concealers. One is the Maybelline Age Rewind. You can see I've done a dent on this. And the Makeup Revolution concealer that everyone's saying is a dupe for Shape Tape. I also am going to talk about the Hourglass. I have wanted to get this as a finishing powder because I use the MAC Mineralize to kind of set my whole face when I'm all done, give it some blend and shine. But I've wanted to try the Hourglass, and during the VIB, I picked up the mini of Diffused Light. I did mention the Becca Hydra Mist powder. I also picked up a couple things from Wet n Wild. I got one of their pro brushes, a few of their lip glosses. So now you know what we're gonna talk about. I will leave timestamps on the specific item that I'm using because I know when I go to YouTube to find a review on a product, I don't always wanna watch a full first impressions. So when I'm talking about this foundation and putting it on, there'll be a timestamp for it. When I'm using the concealers, there'll be a timestamp for it. So if you're here for a specific item, then you can skip through. But let's get started, shall we? I've already primed my face with the Jouer and a little spritz of MAC Prep and Prime. And I am ready. So she sent the By Terry Cover Expert SPF 15, and when she did a whole video on this foundation, and it's like one of her favorites because it's got this technology to kind of move and blend with your skin. I like it on its own. I think that you could build it up to be full coverage, but I have been using this in tandem with the airbrush, or I'm mixing it with my IT Cosmetics CC cream and done. And I'm finding that my foundation time is going much quicker. So for the sake of this video, we're gonna just use this and a little bit of the Era face spray. So with this one, because it is so creamy, I kind of like to place it all first. And maybe I'm one of the only people now that, oh, right over the nose ring, that likes to just rub all my foundation really in, like a moisturizer first, and then I'll go in and blend it, especially when I'm using the IT Cosmetics CC cream mixed with this. I just like the way it kind of adheres. This smells, how do I explain it? It smells like a luxury product that I wouldn't own. I love that she sent some of this stuff to me because it's like I'll get the use out of it trying something new, and this wouldn't necessarily be a brand I would pick up. I am not one to jump on super bandwagons of things anymore, and if this was all over the internet, I don't know, I might pick it up. But By Terry has always been, and like Charlotte Tilbury, I always get the two confused. They're not the same thing, but I always look at them as being like higher price point, and I don't always like to dive into things that are more expensive in case I didn't like them. I'm not someone that returns makeup. I guess that's it. Unless I bought a foundation online and the color just didn't match, I very, very rarely return makeup. I got the Becca Cosmetics first powder. Do you guys remember that powder that was supposed to blur? I bought it on release date because Trend Mood was live at the party and I was like, oh, I want to get this. I'll do a video on it. It's new, the packaging's awesome, and I hated it. I had to watch videos on how to use it to make myself like it, and even now, it's one of those products that I keep going back to try to make it work. And if you use it as like a blurring powder, like in between your highlight and contour, it's not bad, but I don't know. I'm just usually not that extra. I'll use a powder foundation to fix my mistakes or blend lines and stuff. So I had thought about returning that and then I forgot. And then I was like, oh, there's so much left. I'll sell it on like Depop or something. But then I keep going, no, I'm gonna make this work. And then I saw a video from Puffin's wife on how to use those different powders. And I still don't love it. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, being someone that returns your stuff. I just feel like nobody else is gonna be able to rebuy that. Once you return makeup, it's just gone. So unless I can sell something back on Depop or Poshmark or something like that, I just deal with it or I pass it on to someone else because it's just trash, you know, just trash into the environment. And like I said, anybody else wants to return their makeup, I don't have a problem with that. That's you. And I'm also not real close to anything. Now, if something is just that bad, you don't want your money wasted, I get that. But some of it's laziness and some of it is like, it makes me think before I buy things because I know I'm not super close to go return something. I'm definitely way too lazy to ship something back. So a lot of times I just try to think ahead before I pick up anything. And so brands like By Terry or Charlotte Tilbury, they're just not ones that I would jump all over. I don't know. Except when people like, because so many things that Pen has sent me, I've loved. If she recommends something, I probably would pick it up because we have similar skin tones, we have similar skin needs. And I think that's the other thing that people forget when they're, you know, dealing with stuff on YouTube. If you're watching somebody that is like 50 shades paler than you and has oily skin and you have dry skin, the products that they suggest for their face probably won't work for you. Probably, you know, for foundation and stuff like that. So I just try to find YouTubers with similar skin issues that I have. It's not to say that I won't watch somebody that has another complexion because I love Kat from Red in Fashion and we don't have the same skin tone. I mean, she matches my boy, but I appreciate her perspective on things. But if she was talking about shades, I mean, we're not gonna pick the same shades, you know? So this foundation is beautiful on its own, very natural, very like skin-like, but still covers things. But when I want more coverage, which I usually do, I have been adding the Aero Brush Foundation. And Tati did a review on this, because when Pen sent this stuff to me, I was like, okay, how do I use this stuff? So she sent 2 colors. You can go directly on your face, which can be a little messy. I like to spray it on my beauty blender because I don't know which color is which. I'm just gonna put some on here and you could see like, whoa, pigment, you know? And it doesn't take a lot. But I like to just go over the spots that I want more coverage, not the whole face. Let's see, that was butterscotch. This is champagne. I don't remember which one matched better. I think they're both a good mix. Oh yeah, this one's a little bit better. I should probably put both colors on both sides. I like this idea of aerosol foundations but aerosol is so bad for the environment. I wonder if they have another way. Is there another way to get this beautiful formula, or must we just kill the environment? This product does not contain ozone depleting chemicals. So no harmful VOCs. So maybe this one is different. And then this one is also, it has Medi-Spa levels of vitamins and botanicals. Buildable coverage. So this stuff seems really cool. I saw it on the Derm store, so you can buy that on that website. So anywhere I just want a little bit more because I'm oh so extra. I can still see some skin right there. Not that there's anything wrong with showing a little skin, but that's where my little freckles are. And I have 2 patches of discoloration right here, my redness. So let's do, oh, that was half my hand. A spritz here, and a spritz here, so I don't have to go back and forth. And we'll go like that. I'm not gonna do a crazy blend because I think that's what the airbrush is for. So I like this stuff. Have you guys been keeping up on all the newest on YouTube? I know some people just strictly watch beauty videos, but I have been obsessing over the Shane Dawson and Graveyard Girl collab video where Shane went over and saw Graveyard Girl and was helping her with her channel. And I used to watch a lot of Graveyard Girl. Actually, her palette with Tarte is one of the only palettes that I still have from Tarte, because I just love her personality. She wasn't the classic beauty guru. She was like someone who put on makeup, and I love that so oftentimes she does her videos with no makeup on and she's just her. But I know I felt like I had outgrown a lot of her types of videos because I'm not a fan of unboxings. I don't care if it's beauty unboxings or whatever, because I guess unless it's a surprise box, it's like, oh, everybody's gonna get that. Unless people are actually trying on all the products, then you're like, oh, that's cool. But even then, you've seen one, then you've seen all the BoxyCharm or all the Glossy Box, in my opinion. I don't like to watch a lot of those unless I am supporting a YouTube friend. So I just kind of got away from her videos, but I totally understood what she was saying when she was freaked out about a lot of the paranormal activity that you can invite negative energy into your life, whether you call it demons or monsters or whatever. Sometimes when you're highly sensitive, like it seems Bunny is, you can invite that stuff in. And that is one reason why I don't like to mess around with stuff like that. My kids have joked about a Ouija board, and I'm like, first off, I'd be the one trying to cast out the demons. You guys would all puss out. And I do believe that there's energies and things around us, and some things you just shouldn't provoke. So I understand that's where she started her channel, but why that freaks her out so much. I totally get that. Okay, so we are gonna move on to the Instant Age Rewind. I know that a lot of people really like this, and I've not really been all super down for a drugstore concealer, but the way I like to use this is kind of from my glass skin technique, where I just kind of buff it in, and I use this as like my first concealer, if you will. Anything that needs a little extra in the coloring, and I just like to buff it in. I always have to reapply my concealer throughout the day because I use eye drops regularly. I get really red, irritated eyes throughout the day. Some days are worse than others. And so I always have to reapply. It doesn't matter, I can set it, but I'm not somebody that just has to let it go. Because when you add eye drops and then you've got powder and then you've wet the powder, does that make sense? But this is like my go-to way of applying when I'm not got a full crazy face, when I'm just got a light, more natural looking. So that way I look concealed but blended and not like the white stark under, which I'm gonna be doing anyway. But I really, really like this. I feel like I had missed out, like I had slept on this. You guys have any like recent drugstore finds that you're like, I had no idea. I had no idea. And then I was, of course, curious about this one that's supposed to be the Shape Tape dupe. I like this stuff a lot. I find it does crease a little bit on me, but I'm getting older, you know? It's gonna happen. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here.
Easy poop.
Who pooped? Did you poop?
Yeah.
Again? How many times can one person poop in a day that's unhealthy? Okay, I like the way this stuff blends out. Again, I feel like it does crease on me a little bit, but I don't like to bake because then I look crepey. I don't care what powder you tell me I can use. I've used every single powder. I just dust a little bit of powder underneath, but I'd rather reapply my concealer than bake and look crepey. Does that make sense? She also sent me this By Terry Glow Expert Duo Stick. One side is like a bronzer, shiny bronzer, and the other side is like a highlighter. I am not a super fan of the bronzer side. I'll show you. It's a little bit too, I can't really put my finger on it, but I do like the highlight side. I think you can mix and just go boom up the face. Should we try that? I don't know. Do we want to? Yeah, I'm not a big fan. This was another one of those products that I had to look up online how to use. And I saw a lot of them using like a blush stick. It was like a duo blush stick. One side was like pink and one side was the highlight. It's got a little brush, tried to use it, don't like it. But it's okay to bring a little bit of color in. I just feel like for my skin tone, I would not repurchase this. It's a little too, I don't know, not really. And maybe I'm using it wrong. If you guys have this and you like it, let me know if I'm using this product wrong. It's just the coloring is not my favorite for a bronzer. It blends out okay, and I think it would be really good just with the By Terry foundation alone, but I just feel like I look a little red now. Yeah, no. Me no likey. I'm just gonna buff this in a little bit. No. I feel like I just got a little bit of a sunburn. That's okay. That's okay. That's what first impressions and try on things are all about. So I'm gonna go off camera and do my bronzer, and I'll come back with the powder. Come back with the stuff you haven't seen. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I went in and I used my little Cream de Chanel bronzer, and then I went over it with my powder bronzer, which I feel like this is a bit much. This is YouTube okay, but real life, So what I am loving doing is taking some of the mist powder, and it really does feel like mist. It's hard to explain. It's all, you know, in the powder, little netting. You want to, whoa, too much. You want to keep it closed. You want to keep it closed to keep it cool. And what I do is I take a little bit with my blender, and because of the spots that I have that lifts, I go over that with this. And it feels good. Any little areas that I want to help stay, because I am not a big fan of loose powders. Take a little bit here. Now it says it's a set and refresh powder, which I could understand because of the way it feels on the skin. But I am a little hesitant to be walking around with this in my purse to refresh. So I wish that they would come out with another version, like a smaller travel version. That would be awesome. Then I take the loose powder in a big fluffy and I just go over the whole face. And it feels good. I mean, it's gimmicky as all hell because, you know, it's not like it moisturizes your face. I mean, it's still a powder. Powder's gonna dry out your face, you know? But it feels good and I like it. So that's what I do with the Hydra Mist powder. It's very extra. It's very extra. I mean, loose powder all day you could use, but from someone that's not a fan of loose powders and has dry skin, I like the way this feels. It's cold at first, and then it stops that feeling and it becomes like a regular powder. Again, if they had this in a mini version, I would use it more to refresh, but I'm not gonna carry this around. I'm just not. I wanna try out this Wet n Wild brush because I wasn't gonna buy the whole set just to do a review. You know, I wanna buy things in my collection that are useful to me, and if you guys reach out and say you want a review on something and my opinion is magical to you, then that's different, but just to buy something because it's there, I wanna make sure that I wanna use it. So this little brush is the Wet n Wild. It says P72. It was in really cute packaging if I could find the packaging. Can't find it, probably threw it away. It's also a weapon. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Patrick Star powder in Gingerly. Ooh. That packs the pigment. And then I'll take the little peachy powder. I don't remember if this is peachless. Whoa. Okay, the brush is nice, but I like a diffused blush. I just use usually more fluffy brushes for my blush. If you want your blush to come on with a punch, then this would be good for that. I would probably use this more so for powders because now I feel like I gotta blend this out. But it's a really nice brush, but it doesn't have a lot of super give. But yeah, I feel like I gotta go over it with something else. I prefer my It Cosmetics because it's a little bit fluffier, but if you want to pack a punch with the pigment, you could definitely use that brush. It's a good brush. I mean, it was pricey for Wet n Wild, but it's definitely got the quality of other brushes. It's got the nice little pinch, and I just would have liked a little more give. But maybe after a couple uses, it'll be better for that, or maybe with a different blush. You never know. I mean, sometimes the blush you use is just super pigmented. I didn't realize this blush was that pigmented until I used this brush. I want a little more peach, a little bit more. I blended a lot away, but I'm okay with that. See, it's like, kind of gets stuck in that one spot. Oh yeah, I just turned my whole face orange, or peach. A little bit too dense for me for a blush brush and what I prefer. So I will definitely keep this brush. I just don't know what I'm gonna use it for.
Is that it for most of my new?
I think it is. Let's try a gloss. Let's try the new Wet n Wild gloss. This is in the shade Featherless, like fearless but featherless. I should probably put something else on. Oh, I just botted my lips and the color was gone. Okay, let's try this on top of a lipstick. All right, this is the shade Third Eye from Colourpop. This is new to me. I love the Colourpop lipsticks. I really, really like them. I ordered the Shayla ones when they came back in stock, so those are on the way. And I will have a video coming for you guys of all the recent Colourpop. There's some matte ones, and then this one was from the Butterfly collection, I believe. No, this is Third Eye, it's a matte. This is one of the new mattes. But I'll have a video of those swatches, but they didn't give me all my lipsticks. So I wanted to wait until I got them all, but that could be forever because it took a long time to get emails back, and then I had to send proof. How do you send proof that you didn't get a lipstick? But I had to send a bunch of pictures. It was just not fun. Not the easiest company to get help back from, Colourpop. So let's try the lip gloss on top. It's pretty, but I feel like it's just gonna disappear. Like the pigment, you'd have to put a lot on to keep any of the pigment. It's comfortable enough. For me, would I repurchase this? No. I'd rather spend $2 more and get a Colourpop gloss. It's nice, but it was $4 or $5, which isn't bad for drugstore, But in comparison to, say, Colourpop, as long as you get all of your order, I have another color too. This one is Pout of Paradise. This one is more like corally. Should we try this one? See if we like that. Well, it kind of matches my crazy blush. I feel like once you blot and distribute the color, you're losing the pigment. Does that make sense? Like it's fading. I mean, of course I'm picking it up with my finger, but you definitely have to use something underneath these. Does that make sense? I'm not in love, and I'm hard on drugstore. I know it should be the opposite, but because drugstore pricing keeps changing, I feel like it should be really good. I know. I'm so strange because I'll go into the drugstore, I'll pick up a couple of things that are okay, but I'll spend $40, $50 all at once, and I'm like, I could have got one thing that I really love, and now I have a bunch of stuff that's okay. Does that make sense? Anybody else like that? Or are you just about, it's cheap, so I got it? Mixing the two together isn't bad. Yeah, no, I'm not. I would not rebuy these. They're not sticky and weird. If these were $2, I would rebuy them. But at almost $5 for another $1, I know I really like Colourpop glosses. So there's that. All right, we are going to set the whole face with the Hourglass. And this is one of my favorite steps in my makeup. It's just finishing everything off. And I like this. The Mineralize, the MAC Mineralize is like this. Stop. I don't know that I would replace this for the Mineralize, but I really want to try the bronzer. I don't want to fall in love with this brand and everything is quite pricey when I know the MAC one's real big and I already know it does the job, but this I like. I do like this. Would I replace my MAC for this? I don't think so. I do love the mineralized skin finish, but I like the way this looks and I'm not disappointed that I have it. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish my brows and come back and give you final thoughts on all the products that we tried out today. You know what I didn't add in? I didn't add a highlight. I do have this highlighter. I haven't tried it yet. I am a huge fan of using my beauty blender for highlight, so that's what we're gonna do. Haven't seen a million reviews. This is the Gotho Glam or whatever. It's called Moon Tears. And that is it. I like it. This one was, you know, part of my pile of things to show you guys that I hadn't tried out yet. It was opened, but I hadn't tried it. I don't think I have. All right, so the review Roundup. I kept the eyes blank because I am going to be filming either with these or with these, or even another look with the Sydney Grace bundle. I haven't decided yet. So much to do. I wish I had more time in the day. Overview of the products. I love the By Terry Cover Expert SPF 15. I think on its own with this could be great for summertime. I would not repurchase this at this time, but I'm gonna keep playing with it and see if maybe I'm doing something incorrectly or if it's just the color. But the By Terry Glow Expert Duo Stick, I just like the highlight side and I can't justify buying a duo just for the highlight side. But I love a cream highlight, I love cream contour, I love cream bronzer. Just don't think this is the shade for me. Love this, it is currently in my everyday routine. It's sticking with me, love it so much. The Aero Face Spray, I am curious to use these alone on their own. I have yet to do that. Let me know if you guys want to see a whole video dedicated, check-ins, all that jazz with just these. Because I like them, and I think they're fun. I think they're fun. The Becca Hydra Mist powder, it's a win for me. I know it's a gimmick, guys. I know this. But I like the way it feels, and I'm not a huge fan of loose powders. I very rarely use them. I usually use my pressed powders because I can travel with them. Aslan is also doing a voiceover, so there's nothing I can do about that. I like the powder. If they make a mini, even better, because then I can actually use it to refresh. But at this point, I feel like I can only refresh with it when I'm at home. Makes sense? The Instant Age Rewind, I love this stuff. I love this stuff. I'm so late. I'm so late to the game. This is a great concealer. And I like the Makeup Revolution one too. I am so pleased with these. Yes, I use both of them. Can I use one or just the other? Absolutely. I like the duo because I like to blend this one out, and then I like to add this one, but they can both be used separately. I really do enjoy them. This brush, I think it's good. It's just not good for me for what it was intended for. I have lost a lot of the fill in my cheeks. You know, age happens. I would love to get some cheek filler so I could have some cheeks so I could put blush on them. But for me personally, I need to blend my blush out because I look silly with that patch of color. I mean, if I just went in right here, it might be okay, but then your face drops down. So for my face, my shape, I don't like this brush for that. I will use it for other things. Like I could use this even for contour because it's dense enough, or for even bronzer. But for blush, it's not a go for me, but I will keep this brush and I do like it. Just not what it's intended for me. The Hourglass finishing powder, I've been using this. It's in my purse. I don't know if I will pick this over MAC Mineralize. You guys will see later on in videos. I'll talk about it. It'll pop up. Eventually we'll see. When I burn through this, which could take forever, we'll see if I get my MAC Mineralize or if I keep with this. But I am definitely intrigued by the ambient powders now because I'm not all about that streaky highlight. I like a glowy look to my face, and a powder that has some glow in it without being glitter is awesome. Love that stuff. The Wet n Wild lip glosses, not a fan. I've explained that. I really feel like they're pretty in tone, but they're not gonna last. I guess if you did a lip liner underneath, but I feel like that's a lot of work. They're not sticky, they're not gross feeling. You can see this is still the color that I've had on from earlier, but I haven't eaten anything, or all I did was do my brows. So they're okay. I'm not gonna return them. You guys know I don't really return things unless it's terrible, like terrible. Like nobody else should own this. I'm returning it. But these just weren't for me. Like I said, if they were $2, definitely would be a go-to. This is great to have in your bag. They feel nice, but not for the price point. I am loving the Colourpop matte lipsticks, the one in Third Eye that I put on before the gloss. Video will be up on that soon. And I think this was the last thing. It looks good. I think it's pretty. Definitely for the price point, the amount of product you get, it's good. So that is my overall new first impressions items that I have recently got that I just didn't really feel like they needed an individual video. You did not need a single video on these, okay? If they were amazing, I maybe would have got out the rest of them or the box or something, but there was nothing in the box that intrigued me enough to buy the entire collection. And now that I've just picked up the brush and the 2 glosses, I'm glad I didn't spend the $35 on the whole collection. It's just, it didn't do it for me, you know? So if there's any questions about some of the products that I used in this video, leave them down below. If there's any things that you want an intense review on just that item, let me know, because I had intended to do it with the Becca Mist, and the universe didn't want me to, for whatever reason. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I have an itch. I'm gonna film an eyeshadow look right now, so yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Mwah! Bye.